In times like these, it is important to connect with the people that can help us, especially with our mental health. And one of those people is, without a doubt, Dr. Phil McGraw, and he joins us now. And Phil, right off the bat, a lot of people are struggling with dealing with the anxiety of this thing. What would you say to them?
First off, Kevin, you are exactly right. And in fact, I am very concerned with the mental hygiene aspects of what we're dealing with here, because I believe that the stress people are going through right now and the resultant anxiety and depression and the increase in suicide that can come from this can take as big a toll as the virus itself. In fact, when people are under this kind of chronic and prolonged stress, it takes such a physical toll among the elderly. Dementia goes up 25%. Risk of heart disease in all people increases almost a third. When you look at the cancer population, mortality goes up 25% with high stress because it compromises the immune system so much. And people are not talking about mental hygiene right now, taking care of themselves and managing their anxiety, depression, loneliness. All of those things are as big a problem as is this virus, and we have to deal with that.
Okay, what do you think is the number one most important thing that anyone can do?
Well, right now, I think they have to acknowledge that this is a time-limited situation. We're not in this forever. This too shall pass. And I know that seems like a hollow, cliche thing to say, but this won't last forever. And while we're in this situation, we need to acknowledge it. Like, for example, people are jammed together right now, husbands and wives that don't spend as much time together.
Yeah.
You got 4 children at home that you're having to teach now and be homeschool teachers, and maybe 1 computer, but 4 kids in 4 different grades. And you got 2 dogs, 4 kids, a husband, everybody's on top of each other. So people need to have a family meeting and sit down and say, look, this is a tough situation. Let's not pretend it's not. Let's acknowledge that we all need space, emotional space, physical space. And if you're living alone and it's truly you and the 4 walls, don't stay in your pajamas all day and stay in bed. You can really get depressed. Get up like you would if you were going to work. Get up, take a shower, get dressed, open the windows, get outside, start a project. I mean, don't stop grooming and taking care of yourself just because you're shut in. You've got to continue to act as though you were before this all started. Start a project, start a garden, rearrange your closets, keep yourself busy. You can't stay in bed in your pajamas.
I hear you. How are you dealing with this? Because you have a very close-knit family and you have grandkids who you love to have over and play with and hang out. How is everybody handling it? And you work with Jay.
Well, it's tough. And thank God for technology like you and I right now. We're able to see each other and talk to each other, and we're spending time on FaceTime with the grandkids. And it's so great to be here at night and hear that thing buzz and go off, and there they are laughing and talking, and you hear that laughter throughout the house and stuff, and that's so great. And the same with Jay and Jordan. Jay's living in Calabasas, so we get to talk to he and Erica that way with the kids. And Jordan's on the water out in Malibu, and we get to talk to him there. And so at least we have this, and we need to use it for that purpose. It's great technology.
What would you say to families out there that are having a problem connecting, that they don't understand the technology and what they can do, and so you have grandparents who are suffering and by themselves?
Well, that's the thing. The older generation are the ones that are most likely to be the most lonely, and they're the most tech challenged. So we've got to help them. We've really got to reach out to them and say, hey guys, listen, we're calling you, and you've got a computer, we're going to send you an app where we can remote on your computer and install this for you. Right. So we can send you Zoom or send you this app or that where we can talk to you. And they will get so excited about that. When they see your face pop up, it'll make all the difference. And, Kevin, I want to say to people that are feeling empty and depressed, the fastest way to fill yourself up is to give away what you need the most. So if you're feeling lonely and alone, then find somebody in your neighborhood. Maybe it's an elderly person down on the corner or living a few floors below you. And you've seen them in the elevator, you know they're there, but you maybe don't know them. Go knock on their door and then step back, respect social distancing, and say, hey, listen, I know you live here alone. I live a few doors down or a few floors up, and I see you a lot. And I just thought, you know what, you might really be alone right now. And I just wanted to reach out and say hello. You probably don't want to give your phone number to a stranger. Let me give you mine. And, call me. I'd love to listen to what's going on in your life. And here's my Facebook. Is there an errand I can run for you? I go to the store. Can I pick some things up for you? I'll leave them on your doorstep here. Is there something, can I go to the pharmacy for you? Something I can do to help? I promise you, you will feel so much better if you will do that for people that maybe can't do it for themselves.
That is amazing advice. That is great advice, and really something that we could all do and we should all think about doing anyway. All right, now, what are the challenges for you doing the show right now? Because you still have an audience that really needs you more than ever at this time.
This is social distancing. We have no studio audience.
It's very unnerving sitting on a high chair 6 feet away from people.
Well, you and I are both in the CBS family, and we all got the message at the same time.
Yes,
shut it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hated that, but I totally got it, because you've been in my studio many times, and we've got a big audience and 300 people on staff, and I absolutely didn't want to bring those people in and have them on top of each other and spreading this virus. So they said shut down. And I thought, you know what? Our country right now is facing the biggest mental and emotional challenge as a country I think they have faced since 9/11. I thought, this is not the time for Dr. Phil to disappear. And so that's why I said I came home, and you can see I'm here in my kitchen.
Yeah.
And I came home and got with my staff, who are very tech savvy, and I'm able to do shows from here in the kitchen. Well, it's day 10 of quarantine, and I'm home here in my kitchen. They don't look as good. I don't have the lights. We don't have video packages, et cetera, et cetera. I'm talking to you through an iPad, and Robin's got some of her makeup lights in here for lighting. And so I'm using Zoom, and I'm able to do shows from here and talk to guests. I talked to somebody from Beijing, China a few days ago, and New York, and all over the country. And it's not as pretty, and we don't have as many bells and whistles, but still I'm able to talk to people about things that matter.
Well, and I think at a time like this, people just want to connect with you, and they want to go to their trusted sources, and you're one of those trusted sources that bring comfort to people. So I think it's important that they can connect with you. So tell me about the shows that you're doing, because you're doing coronavirus themed shows.
Well, we are, and we're talking about couples in crisis. We're talking about depression and anxiety when you're shut in like this. We're dealing with those things. We're talking about parenting during the coronavirus. We're talking about what stress and anxiety does to your immune system and how it makes you susceptible. And like, for example, when you have anxiety, it actually mimics the coronavirus, because you start having shortness of breath, right? Mm-hmm. When you start having a panic attack, you can't catch your breath, and people think, oh my God, that's one of the big symptoms of the coronavirus. People are thinking they have the virus when they're actually having anxiety. And so we're talking to them about how to keep that from happening and what to do when it does happen. And, Kevin, we've got a 24-hour news channels, and people can spend too much time focusing on this.
Yes.
They need to pick a couple of really trusted sources, like CDC, for example, Dr. Fauci, who's from the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. The politicians, how about you guys just shut up? Let the scientists take the microphone and talk. And I'm not an immunologist, I'm not an infectious disease specialist, but I have access to those people, and I'm reporting what they are saying. I'm not spinning this, not putting any political agenda to it. I'm just telling what they're telling me. The good news is I have access to those people where the man on the street may not. So I'm conveying what they're telling me.
So very important. You touched on something, though, that was also important. You talked about people and relationships. And so many relationships are going to end after this crisis because it's been too much and it's put a strain on people's relationships. What
Yeah,
can
think
you say
about
to
it.
couples who are struggling?
Yeah, think about it. You've got a relationship that wasn't perfect to begin with.
Right.
Now you're jammed up in the house, throw 4 kids on top, a couple of dogs and a cat, and there's been a run on guns.
Yes.
People are buying guns right and left. What could possibly go wrong here? Oh my God. So you've got to acknowledge that and just say, look, we're in this. We got to give each other emotional space. We got to give each other physical space. I mean, maybe you say, all right, look, I won't be in the bedroom in the mornings, you can be. I won't be in the kitchen in the afternoon, you can be. And both of you get outside. Go outside. If it's not raining, go outside. Get out, breathe some fresh air. Take the dog for a walk. Put the cat on a leash. I don't know. Get out. Go do something. Get out of the house. Give yourself some space.
I also want to ask you about how much are you staying in touch with some of your celebrity friends and guests, because there are so many celebrities going live and doing things right now. Are you staying in touch with them, and are they seeking advice on what to do?
Yes and yes. And, you know, one of the things that I really hope people understand is, even though this is a serious crisis, it's okay to have fun. It's okay to laugh. In fact, when you do laugh, when you do have fun, your body secretes dopamine and oxytocin, things that lift your spirits up. And a lot of my friends, we're exchanging funny memes and videos and talking to each other. You know, you get on these apps where you get a grid and there can be 7 or 8 of you on the screen at one time. And we're having a ball going back and forth where just whoever's talking pops up and goes. And we're having some fun that we probably wouldn't have had if this hadn't caused us to stay home. So we're actually having some good laughs and some good fun. And it's okay to do that. We don't need to be so morbid all the time.
I hear you on that. And one other thing, for people who might test positive, and celebrities especially, is it important to reveal that you have this sickness, this COVID-19?
You know, I think so, because look, 85% of the people that contract this virus are going to have mild to moderate symptoms. And then they're going to be sick for 4 or 5 days, and then they're going to get up and go, oh, and get back to their life. Getting this virus is not a death sentence. People need to not, you know, look, monsters live in the dark. Get the facts and understand the reason the entire world is shut down is not for the 85% that will have mild to moderate symptoms. It's for the 15% that they're either elderly and or have underlying conditions for whom this can be fatal. And we're shutting the whole world down for 15% of the population, and well, we should, because you've got to take care of your fellow man. And these spring breakers that are going out saying, I don't care if I get it, I'm young.
Right?
Yeah, that's fine, until you go to the store and you're standing next to Aunt Edna, who has COPD and she's 78 years old. She gets it and dies because you didn't care. You can't do that. We've got to care about everybody and respect it for everybody.
I agree with you 100%, Phil. It is always good catching up with you. And by the way, I think you said something very important. People, go to your trusted sources. Dr. Phil is always one of our trusted sources.
Well, thank you so much. And thanks for talking to me today. You look great, by the way.
Phil, you look good. Look at that. You got Robin's light. You look fantastic. You got a perfect little corner of the kitchen. You're ready to rock and roll, aren't you?
Tell you what, man, I'm taking it easy too.
Enjoy the good life, Phil. I'll talk to you soon.
I'll talk to you soon, man.